Hey guys, Savage Joy with Real Progress in Action. So I apologize, I haven't been able to do even half as many shows as I've wanted to because it's been so insane the entire time I've been in Iowa. So let me just give you the breakdown on Caucus-Eve. It has been insane. These past 5 weeks have been awesome, but also incredibly stressful. And I think I've felt pretty much every emotion in existence at some point, multiple times during these 5 weeks. Hey, thanks for tuning in. So right now, I have a lot of people emailing me or messaging me and saying, what's the feel in Iowa? Like, what's the feeling around here? Do you think it's good? Do you think it's bad? And I mean, honestly, there's like no way to answer that because I've only been in 5 cities in the entire state. Um, I've met a fuck load of burners, like so many burners, but I've also met a fuckload of people who aren't, to be to be transparent. So now that doesn't mean, there was someone else with, I think a lot of people are split. There are a a lot of people, surprisingly, who are still undecided, which is really fucking weird. Like, like even a few days before the caucus, people were like, I'm still kind of undecided. Which is kind of bananas to us who are burners because, we knew 5 years ago who we were voting for. Like, there was no other option. So to have people that are that kind of ambivalent, just to, and a lot of people are saying, well, I'm going to go to caucus and see who has the biggest turnout, things like that. That's a really like hive mind kind of way of voting. It's kind of disturbing that people can't make up their own minds. But in any case, I am seeing like a weird array of signs, um, actual caucus votes. But I kind of thought that, you know, uh, Amy Klobuchar supporters were kind of like unicorns. And then I came to Iowa and I realized there's quite a number of signs for Amy. I don't think she's going to get the necessary 15%, but it's kind of weird to see. But I guess Iowa's a pretty white state, so I get that. Yeah, absolutely. I absolutely agree. In New Hampshire, they want to see how like who wins Iowa, and that's going to shape their vote, and it's going to trickle to Vegas, to South Carolina. It's this starts it all, which is why I found this the most important state to go to. I mean, I live in Pennsylvania, so obviously, I want to do well there, but I'm just, and before I forget, I'm so freaking thankful for you guys because your donations are what got me here for 5 weeks. I wouldn't be here without your help, literally. So thank you guys. Thank you for believing in me, that I could do this and that I could add something to this experience and share these things with you. It means a lot. Thank you so much. Yeah, right on. Thanks, guys. The mood, hey Brian, the mood in the campaign, we're all nervous. Like, we're all nervous. Anyone who says it's a sure thing is like just nuts. and way too cocky. So the phrase I keep hearing and using over and over is cautiously optimistic. Um, I don't know if, some of us are kind of superstitious or, I'm not sure, but none of us are comfortable enough with saying, oh, we got this, because polls are looking good, you know what I mean? But that doesn't equate to bodies being out there. A poll just came out an hour ago that said Sanders 7 points up from, the next person, and it's Caucus-Eve. The only good thing about things like that is that people do, they do vote on who polls highest, like the older generations. Us, we're like, fuck it, we vote on policy. We love Bernie because he stands for X, Y, and Z. Older generations, they look at polls. I mean, they do. So that could be advantageous for us, just because, unfortunately, people base their votes on that. Yeah, I am so with you. Like, this, like, tie bullshit and then bringing in coin tosses like last time. No. Like, if we're gonna win this, we have to fucking win this. Like, it has to be, if we win it by like a point or two, it's gonna be like, well, it was practically a tie and it'll be minimized. So, I'm hoping to really pull this out to win it, not just win it, but to win it big. As far as, volunteering, I was trying to like keep like a kind of like a diary type thing about what I've been doing each day, and it's been insane. I've realized I've done thousands of local phone calls. I've knocked on hundreds of doors. I've helped organize things. I mean, it's just, I look back and I'm like, holy shit, like, I really have worked my ass off here. What are issues' biggest voters? Yeah, you know what I meant? I had some drinks, I admit it. Calm the nerves. But yeah, I think, even in Iowa, it's as you expected. It's absolutely Medicare for all. That is something I've been hearing nonstop. That seems to be the universal, talking point, is what is most important to you. And, it's something that even if you don't need it, someone who does. I mean, someone who's sick and cannot, pay their bills. Oliver, absolutely. And the thing about money in politics is, like, how can we acquire any of these plans as long as, these corporations are, in control? Like, Medicare for all, how can that happen unless we get rid of, the greed and big pharma and big insurance? So yeah, I think, corporate money in politics, that is kind of the overarching feel of everything. Absolutely, it's been worth it. Thank you. I don't know. It's so hard to say, like, to gauge what it is. Like, we made 10 million phone calls to the people in Iowa. Yes, national rent control, absolutely. And Bernie's the only one who supports that, which is a freaking privileged ass shame. We've made over 10 million phone calls. Last weekend, we knocked on over 102,000 doors in the state of, in Iowa, just within literally 36 hours. I still can't see the BS. Zach, this drives me mad. I'm not kidding you, Zach. Like, you totally get it. I know. I don't understand. Like, I don't understand how you can say, oh, Medicare for all is my top issue and not go with Bernie. I can't understand how that makes sense. He's the only one offering it. So I think, there is, unfortunately, there are miscommunications, there are misconceptions, there are, the candidates themselves are guilty of saying they support Medicare for all and then putting out plans that simply aren't. Absolutely, Oliver, you are totally right. They do. They believe TV. They believe they hear the catchphrase Medicare for all, and that's they think that's what they're voting for. And you guys know I've worked in healthcare for over 10 years. I've read every single plan by every candidate, and I can tell you Bernie's is the only Medicare for all. But you guys know that. Taylor, absolutely. I have had so many Yang fans come at me and say he supports Medicare for all. And you can even find interviews recently of Yang stating, yes, I call it Medicare for all, but it's not. So, I mean, wishing it doesn't make it so. He does not support Medicare for all. An interesting thing is that for the past 3 days, Yang has had articles coming out about him saying that he doesn't think he'll hit the threshold for 15% here in Iowa, and he thinks a lot of his voters will go to Sanders, and he supports that. I was hype about that because the 5 weeks I've been here, I can tell that, all the Yang support, and now I'm not saying this is universal, but all the Yang supporters I have come across personally all have Sanders as second, all of them. The Steyer also has Sanders as second, but I think it's because he has a man crush on him, so I think that's kind of helping us. Some people, I don't want to get too excited because I don't want to get my hopes up, but there is kind of some hope Liz might not make the 15%. Again, back to the polls, she's not looking great. A lot of them have her at 11, percent or so. It's tough because we have 200 caucus locations. So some locations are only going to have 8 people. That being said, to get 15% of that vote, I mean, it's mathematics. It's all math, #math. But I am actually right now, I'm in Iowa City. The majority of the time I've been in Davenport, which is pretty close. It's 2.5 hours from Chicago, which has been amazing because shout out to all my viewers in Chicago. You guys have been integral in door knocking ridiculous. You guys have done more than fucking Iowans. It's been insane. That's a really good question, Zach. I think that the people I've spoken to, personally, Warren's second is Bernie. The ones I've personally spoken to. They seem to think she's progressive. So to them, she's very like Bernie, but a woman. So her supporters will go to, I mean, that's certainly feasible. Yeah, I totally understand that. But yeah, it's nerve-wracking because I just, even after 5 weeks at multiple campaign offices, I can't tell you guys. I know that the experiences I've had have been very positive, with knocking on doors and phone calls and such. But I'm one of many. So I don't know. I really don't know. I'm kind of like, I don't think I've slept well in at least a week. And I've been crying like 24/7. But I think a lot of it is just kind of mental exhaustion, just because this is such a draining process. I went to see Bernie for the 18th time this morning, which is, I don't know why I'm bragging about that. It's kind of sad. But as I was listening to him talk, we all know his speech by heart, every single word. We mouth it with him. But it started like I had to stop myself from ugly crying, just because I was like, it's the day before. Like, it is literally, tomorrow is the culmination of every fucking phone call we've made, every door we've knocked on, every donation we've made. I mean, this is like, it's just incredible. So I really don't know. I mean, you guys are asking all the same questions I ask every day to myself, like, honestly. And I know that's not like what you want to hear, but I can only speak to what I know. Oh, thank you, Roxanne. I love you guys back. Thank you so much. This has, regardless of outcome, it has been absolutely an experience of a lifetime. It has. In 2016, I was working full-time and going to school full-time. And a lot of people from my campaign office, went across the country, went to California. They got a van and they stopped everywhere in between. And I would look at Facebook like nonstop, and and just get so jealous. Like, and then I told myself, if he runs again, I'm fucking going. I don't know where I'm going, but I'm doing this shit. I'm traveling. And it just so happened I got laid off right before I left to come for 5 weeks. So it was kind of a blessing in disguise. Granted, I'm fucking poor, but still, it was like I wouldn't have, been here otherwise. Okay, so thank you for bringing that up. As far as the app, I know literally nothing about this. The person who started that on Twitter is a fake account. I'm not sure if they work for someone's campaign. I'm not sure if they're just trying to sow discord. I honestly don't know who they are, but we did some digging, and it is a fake account. But unfortunately, even if it's fake, it spreads like crazy. There is no app. There is no app being hacked into, anything like that. We learned a fuckload of shit in 2016. This time we have an 800 number for any of us who see anything, even slightly shady. We have an 800 number, and it's going down. So yeah, like, we're all on it. I will be filming as much as I can. You guys might get stuck with like me filming a table half the time, but I don't want to turn my camera off even for like 2 seconds, because I'm not even gonna say I'm paranoid. I'm gonna say, like, Oliver, don't. Yes, I know. You guys are awesome. I do, yeah, this goes on YouTube right away. And then I put it on the Facebook and Twitter. But yeah, I mean, oh yes, I brought my battery pack, Alana. It's all good. Yes, I will be live streaming. like I said, I don't know how exciting some of it'll be because it might just be me. And plus, it's also going to depend if I have to, you know, if I get in trouble for holding a camera out, I'm going to have to just like put it in my pocket and you guys can just listen. You know, Burn and Turn 2020. Fuck yeah, Brian. Hell yeah. Yeah, Roxanne, you're so fucking right. Like, we've learned. It's not even paranoia. Like, we've learned. We all experience that shit. Like, I mean, protesting Occupy DNC was one of the most difficult weeks of my entire life. And it was this kind of shit that got thousands of us in the street. So tomorrow, and you see them pulling out all the stops to, you know, to try and stop us. And they're doing that obviously because they're scared. If they thought we really had no chance, they'd be like, whatever, F them, who gives a shit? But because we're doing so well in polls, because we have the over 1 million volunteers, because you know, we have the most donations, because we have 22 fucking field offices in Iowa and nobody else has even half that many. We have ground game like nobody's business. I mean, nobody has more staff, more volunteers. I mean, the energy and enthusiasm for Bernie, you know, I went to a rally again, it was there. I mean, I have met, just in the 5 weeks I've been here, I have met people from Germany, New Zealand, South Africa, UK, Ireland, all who have flown to Iowa to canvass for Bernie. That's it. Like, they've come to our country. I mean, who else has that kind of, you know, that kind of passion? Yeah, you're totally right, Oliver. That's very true. As far as like numbers, like, you know, AOC and some of them came the other night. It drew 6,000 people and Bernie wasn't even fucking there. He was in DC. So AOC and like other, you know, our, you know, I would say co-signers, you know what I mean? My mind's not working. But, you know, it was just them. And we drew over twice what Trump did. It's, the energy's there. The people are there. The passion is there. Surrogate. Yes, surrogate. You guys can tell I'm just a mess. Yes, I saw that. That was freaking amazing. Yeah, hey, Jeffrey. Yes. You guys are fucking awesome because so many of you, even for, thank you, you too, Bonnie. Yes. You guys are awesome. All of you guys who are saying, you know, your phone banking in other states and everything, like, you're amazing. We need all of you, you know, phone calls and texts and everything. It's just been, I mean, it's to the point where, like, I would call people locally. Thank you, Lisa. I'd call people locally and be like, you know, hey, do you know your caucus location? Things like that. And they'd be like, yes, and I'm voting for Bernie. It's, you know, it's kind of funny because they'd be like, you keep calling me and I'm still caucusing for Bernie. So people, like, we are that on it that we're like, are you still supporting him? Do you still know where your caucus location is? It's actually funny because a few days ago, Bernie had to actually put out a statement to all of our campaign offices to stop calling. Because that's how many people we were calling. Over 10 million calls. So some people were getting repeats. So he literally asked us all to stop. That's Rob, and that's one of the things. It's oh, nice. That's see, Iowans are gonna be so happy after tomorrow. They're gonna stop getting door knocks. They're gonna stop getting calls. I know it's gotta be frustrating. The first guy I knocked on when I came to Iowa, the very first door I answered, dude, maybe in his maybe 30 or so, answers the door and he's like, "Oh, I thought you were that same fucking Buttigieg Republican fascist." And he's like, I told him to take his warmongering ass off my porch. I was like, oh my God, Iowa kicks ass. So that's kind of how I started. So I kind of had a good feeling. But I think that Bloomberg, really? That's kind of bananas. Bloomberg's paying his people $25,000 a month. Pete is absolutely CIA. Guys, I know I'm so tired. There's nothing cohesive in what I'm saying. Yeah, I don't either, Lisa. Oh, awesome. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I had an interview for a regional field coordinator in New Hampshire, but I didn't get the second interview. So I was like, again, I'm going to Iowa. So, and it's been very rewarding. I have met so many of you guys. That's rad, Oliver. Oh my God, that's so good. Yeah, I don't, so and again, this is just me. I've only been in 4 campaign office areas. I have seen 1 Warren sign the entire 5 weeks I've been here. That doesn't equate to bodies at the caucus, but 1. That's insane. I have seen, several Bernie. I saw my first Biden sign today. My first. That's insane. So yeah, it's not like all the kind of, yay thing that you would think for people like that. Can somebody actually get rid of the piece of shit that says Hitler's a god? That'd be kind of cool if you could block him. Oh, okay, awesome. Dude, what the fuck? Get off my thread, you weirdo. Oh my God, dude. You're fucking weird. Go away. Oh, yes. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. No, 1. What else was I gonna say? Oh, someone else asked me about the location changes I posted about. So thank you. So I fly home on Wednesday. Yes. So somebody asked about the caucus location changes. What happened is, first of all, I'm amazed by the amount of people in Iowa who have no fucking clue what a caucus is. You ask them if they caucus, they're like, what? And you say, do you vote? And they're like, yeah. And they think that you mean in the general. Because a lot of them will just say, yeah, I'll vote for whoever wins. They don't, or I'll vote for him in November. They don't comprehend the fact that he has to get there to be on the ballot in November. So it's really been surprising to meet so many people in their 50s and 60s who literally have no fucking clue. I mean, the one plus side out of that is that they're not caucusing for anyone else either. So I guess that's good. Well, if you come to Philly, you can stay with me. Yeah, so I digress. The caucus changes being, the addresses changing. That was something that we found when we were making phone calls and stuff at one of the campuses I went to community canvas at, and just, pass out literature and, talk to college kids, what's important to them, why they should vote for Bernie, things like that. That came about because they'd be like, yeah, it has me voting at here. And I was like, no, it's actually not there. It was moved to the other side of the campus and things like that. And it was changing and they were not being notified, which is scary because the caucus it starts at 7 p.m. like on the dot. If you are there at 7:01, you are locked out. You cannot get in. You can't, done. That's it. So that being said, we're telling everyone else's flyers and stuff like that is saying 7 p.m. Ours say 6:30 p.m. because we know how, you say you got to be there at 7, they get there at 7:10. We're telling everyone 6:30. So the main problem about telling people the wrong location is that they go there, they absolutely cannot caucus then because they won't have time to get to the other location and the doors will be locked. That's one of the most important reasons to make sure that they all go to berniesanders.com/Iowa. They type in their address. It gives them the exact location. That's also a great point. If the location fills up, they'll get sent to another location. Is it true? That is absolutely true, Lisa. Absolutely true. You need to be in that fucker at 7, period. You get stuck in traffic, tough shit. You're leaving work, tough shit. You have to be there. They will lock those doors. So I think that's going to be one of our biggest. What we're doing is, yeah, that's a great comparison. One of the things we're doing on the college campuses, which I'm hoping will, help. I think, at the college campuses tomorrow, we are having pizza parties for all the kids who have agreed to caucus for Bernie. So we're going to have music and pizza and soda and stuff like that for them because they've agreed to caucus for Bernie. We're doing that at 4:30. And then, so we're going to do that for an hour or whatever. And then we're actually taking them all to their caucus site on the campus because there's a bunch around the campus because there's so many people. So that way we have them there already. They're there early. They're there at 4:30. We're feeding them. They're not going to complain. They're hungry. They don't want to go. And then we're giving them transportation to get to their exact location they have to be at. So we're trying everything. Some of the offices have even scored volunteers to, help with childcare and stuff like that. Volunteers to just say, it's cool, you can come, bring your kids, we'll watch them. And we have tons of people giving rides as well. So, that's definitely going to help. As far as, also locations changing, something that a lot of people don't understand, even ones who live in Iowa, is that the voting locations are not the same as caucus locations. The only time Iowa caucuses is in the general. or excuse me, in the presidential campaign. Voting is like every 2 years and it's local. They are different. They're at different places. So you may vote at the school up the street, but then you caucus at, a hotel 5 miles away. So a lot of people assume it's the same place, and that also can get you locked out if you're not there by 7. There's so many things that, we've been trying to stress to every single person. It's a lot. Also, one of the things I hope will be advantageous is this time, well, they did actually, they moved one of the caucus sites to a freaking stadium, because before I forget to give this, stat, apparently in 2016, in the entire state of Iowa, only 185,000 people voted out of 3 million. Pathetic. Seriously pathetic. Now, as of now, Iowa has either re-registered or registered over 2 million people. So, I mean, that's 185,000 to 2 million. I mean, and like Bernie says, 24/7. I told you my mind. Yeah, exactly, Lisa. Like Bernie says, when they show up, we win. When they don't, we lose. Like, if people show, like, nobody has more energy. If people are in an undecided section and they see all of us with our signs and, our t-shirts and cheering and everything like that, they'll come to us. We'll get some people. Those who do not reach 15% will be given, okay, so here's the change. Before, you would just stay through the whole thing. Like last time, because of the stupid ass coin toss and it being a tie and everything like that, people were there over 6 hours. It's too much. It's psychologically exhausting, physically exhausting. So what they did this time is they're giving everyone postcards, and you're going to write your first choice on the front, your second choice on the back. You go and you sit in the section of your first choice first. If they make it to viability, which is making at least 15% of the vote in that location, you are allowed to leave. We hope you don't, because if there's nobody left in that section, people are not going to come over to us. They're going to be like, why would I go over there? There's like nobody there. It's just the way people's minds work. But it is a good selling point to be able to say, if you're disabled or you have to get back to work or you need to pick your kids up, you do have the ability to leave as long as Bernie is at that 15%. Hand us your card. We will count you. Have a great night. So as far as and yet, I don't know if you can write Bernie on the front and back, but I've said that I would. I can't caucus there, but that's exactly what I would do. As far as those getting under 15%, that's going to be where, it's still kind of up in the air what I'm doing, but that's been told to me that's what I'm doing, is I'm going to be a whip. So I'm going to be going up to the Yang, the Tulsi, the Steyer, the people who don't hit that 15%, and I'm going to tell them why they need to come to us, why you should join Team Bernie, because if they don't get 15%, they do have the ability to just say fuck you and walk out, which is scary. We don't want them to walk out. We want them to come to us. Oh yeah, Lisa, yeah, absolutely. We are like so on this shit. Like, we learned so much. Absolutely. You guys are on it. You know exactly what to do, because you guys lived it too. Um, yeah, so I'm fucking nervous as hell. I'm not gonna lie. We've all put so much into this that it's, it's scary to think about, um, you know, not having the outcome we want. Um, but I am cautiously optimistic. I think we have, some incredible people. I think, the passion is with Bernie everywhere. I mean, even in other countries. We're not short on volunteers. We're not short on passion. We just have to get people there, which is kind of a not the easiest thing sometimes. Um, I'm not sure what else to say because I'm so fucking tired and I'm not gonna sleep. Like, no way. Thank you guys so much. I'll be going live tomorrow, obviously, and I'll be checking in. We did a GOTC, get out the caucus. On things. Thank you, Laura. I do think some Warren supporters will come to us if she's not viable. I do, genuinely. I can't say how much, but I do. We actually talked to a few tonight. The satellite, I think I'm actually going to be, I possibly maybe at one of them tomorrow. We have one in Pennsylvania, in Philly. Yeah, oh my God, you guys are all saying like the right things. You guys are fucking amazing. You guys get it. I am so fucking nervous. I know, guys, I totally understand. I get it. I get it. I think so. I do. I think, honestly, I've met people who honestly just think she's the female Bernie. And it's like, I love Bernie, but I want a woman. So I'm just going to, go with that. Oh, yeah, Rob, you absolutely. Yeah, it was scrolling fast, so I couldn't see, but someone asked if I think that Warren would endorse us or give her delegates. There is no way in fucking hell that would ever happen, like ever, in a million years. We learned we cannot trust her. That's not gonna happen. She'd give them to Biden before she'd give them to us. See, you read my mind. Yes. Hey, I don't, like this entire, campaign thus far, this entire campaign season has been like a fucking SATs. It's like a million variables. Who will stay in? Oh, speaking of who will stay in, R.I.P. John Delaney. You guys know how much I love him. And you know how I've been so excited to see how Bernie does, but one of my reasons for being here is also to see if, John Delaney got a vote. I was really, like, honestly, I'm not even trying to be funny. I really wanted to know if he got a voter. When I was leaving one of the Bernie rallies two weeks ago, there was John Delaney's bus was parked around the corner from the Bernie rally, and there was no one around it. It was just parked there. It was really fucking odd. No, yeah, and that's one of the hardest things I've dealt with this whole time, because you guys know how I speak my mind. I didn't get this name because I'm like sweet. It has been so hard being with the campaign, to the point that I was kind of treated as an employee in many ways, because I was full-time, and I was expected to, not, if somebody says, oh, I love Warren, she's just like Bernie, to, you know, uh, deal with that in a certain way. When I wanted to be like, are you fucking serious? But it wasn't always easy, because you guys know I speak my mind, period. But I think I did pretty fucking well with biting my tongue, a lot of the time I've been here. Yes, I did know that about Warren's ex-husband. That's kind of weird. Um, yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I know I do have to get to bed. I think Steyer's going to stick around for quite some time. I don't think he's going to get 15%, but he does have quite a bit of support here. Um, I've seen a number of signs. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he is. He's doing a lot better than I thought. And I think it's because he was getting into the debates. People were actually like getting a chance to listen to him. Um, so tomorrow, I think that I'm probably going to be going live intermittently. I think um, the only time I've heard Tulsi mentioned by anyone canvassing or phone banking is that they know she won't get 15% and that Bernie's the second choice. That's the only, personally, that's the only thing, I've dealt with. Um, but I think I'm going to be going like off and on tomorrow, starting at about 4:30. I think I'll interview some of the kids that will be volunteering and going to caucus, just so I can get, you guys know most of our supporters are in college. Well, we have the highest favorability in college students. So I think it would be interesting to kind of speak to some of them and, just get their take on why they support Bernie or why they're volunteering. That would be 4:30 Iowa, so 3:30 Eastern. Um, Burn and Turn 2020. I've told Miss Nina herself to her face numerous times. Like, um, yeah, Central. That's it, right, Rob? You guys, I know. Yes, boomers for Bernie. Okay, yeah, the thing about Nina is like the first time I said burn and turn to her, she goes, oh, okay. And she smiled and laughed. And then the second time she was like, well, I'll have to be interviewed for it. And then now she goes like this and gives like hard hands. And then someone the other day was like, good morning, VP Turner. And she goes, good morning. Yeah. Ew. Oh my God. He's hit or miss, Brian. He is really hit or miss. God, I'll cry. Yes. Thank you, Lisa. Happy birthday. That's amazing. Yeah, my mom's 75 and she's like all about it. She's like, every time I see Bernie, I start going, Bernie, Bernie. But yeah, seeing Nina take on Mike Pence would be fucking beautiful. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you to Denmark for being amazing. Yeah, Sema, I've had her on twice. You guys are awesome. See, I can't even concentrate when I do my show, not just because I've had drinks and because I'm fucking exhausted and I'm nervous, but because you guys have the best comments, and it's just, I can't ignore them. Um, Rob, you're killing me. Um, yes, abso-fucking-lutely. Oliver, you got it right on. Um, oh, and you bring up a good point about Pramila. I was fortunate enough to meet Rashida Tlaib 2 weeks ago, and I can honestly say she was one of the kindest, sweetest, most thoughtful people, not even in politics or like famous or whatever, like period. Um, love you back. And the fact that she's getting attacked is gross, but not just that. People like Joyanne Reed are calling Pramila Rashida and stuff. They're literally getting them confused. Like, not all women of color look alike, but okay. Rashida is fucking badass. And a lot of people want her for VP too. But I mean, I'm still burn and turn, but I would be so okay with Rashida too. Because she's just sweet, she's warm, she's kind. Um, and yes, exactly. They don't even know why they're mad. It's really incredible. Yes. Yes. I'm just gonna have to do like a show where like I have all of you guys as guests. Um, I don't know if John Cusack's tall. I talk to him in Messenger sometimes. He follows me, but I haven't met him. I will say this though. I don't know if Shaun King watches this show, but Shaun has been one of my biggest supporters. Like, he has been so incredible. And I'm not saying this to brag. I'm saying, like, I owe him. Like, he has been sending me, like, messages like, I'm so proud of you. You're kicking ass. Keep going. Things like that. Like, it's fucking crazy. But so shout out to him because he's just been so awesome and kind. No, see, because when Rashida said impeach the motherfucker, that was cool. But saying boo wasn't, because that was not too, uh, it depends if it's against their candidate. Oh, yeah, Brian, I know. It's great. All of the Yang supporters I personally have spoken with have said they will absolutely pick Bernie as their second. Absolutely. Me personally. And I that's kind of what I'm hearing from everyone on the ground. I mean, I'm sure it won't be 100%, but a lot of them like Tulsi too, but she won't be viable either. So you can't have two not viable candidates. So if you want Yang and Tulsi, you're still not going to be able to vote, in which case then they do have the ability to get up and leave. I mean, that is they're able to do that. So that's where we come in, because we don't want them to do that. We want to like with Tulsi people, I'm going to be like, there's a really good chance she's going to be in the cabinet somewhere. Or Yang people, Yang voted for Bernie last time, things like that. It really, it's about persuasion. So, you guys, I'm so fucking nervous. But thank you guys for tuning in. I'm going to get off the air because I feel like I will just keep blathering for like 5 hours. Yeah, I agree. So thank you guys so much for watching. Again, I'll be in and out tomorrow, probably starting around 4:30. But, aw, thank you, Rob. Yes, pre-election jitters for sure. Whew, deep breaths. Love you too. Thank you. All right, guys. Fingers crossed. Thank you all so much for raising the money to get me out here. It means a lot. Thank you guys so much. Dream sweet.